Is it hard to get services? I would say no if you know the information. The best advice I've gotten in my life is when you're going through something, find people who are going through the same things. My A Spoon Coon that I met in autism, I met off of my autism team. It's funny because my cousin also has an autistic son, and she told me about my autism team at Facebook for autism parents. There's some crazy people on there too. So I filled out my profile, and I guess she read it and she kind of cried, and she's like, I need to talk to this person, but she was kind of anti-social media. So her husband told her to reach out. Now on my autism team, there's no way to get a direct message. So she created an email address and put it out there, just some off email address. I responded. We met at a park. We live close to each other, fairly close. And we've been friends since they were 3. They were about to be 3. Her daughter's 8 or 9 months older than Eva. And it was perfect. And we started going to events together because my early intervention person gave me a schedule of all the autism events that was going on in the greater Boston area. That's what I'm saying. Good people in your life keeps you in the loop. And we started going to these events together, which was perfect because she wasn't social, my friend. So she'd watch the kids while I would talk to anybody and everybody. Some of these events wasn't really autism events, but eventually they had one at a Sky Zone. This girl had a nonprofit, and they would open Sky Zone early on a Sunday. And we got 2 hours. There was only autistic kids there. And I got to meet the people that got me in line for all the services I need. I met one girl. She knew about everything. And I hooked up with her. And that's what got our daughters into the autism center. We didn't even know about the damn autism center. Then the girl who was running the program for the Sky Zone for autistic kids, she's been my ace ever since. And from that, I found out about all the services. I went to the federal. They had a special needs conference. Me and my friend went, and they told us that Massachusetts does not hand out the information. They don't give it to you or whatever. We took some of the classes. So that's when I found out about the MassHealth secondary policy, that the Massachusetts has a law or whatever that regardless, let's say you have a job and you have health insurance, they have to offer you the secondary policy for certain things. And autism was on the list, and my cancer was on the list too later. And I didn't even think of that. It was the same girl that I'm friends with who did the Sky Zone thing said, you apply too. Disabilities in my cancer is considered a lifelong disability. I also could get the secondary policy. So me and Ava got the secondary policy. Now what they do is a sliding scale. So that means I have my work policy, and then I have my MassHealth policy that covers anything my work policy doesn't cover, which is perfect, right? And it covers anything that MassHealth covers. So that's the personal care attendant, all this stuff. And what happened was they do it on a sliding scale. So they might say you have to pay such and such. But then there's premium assistance. So premium assistance is Obamacare, and if you qualify, they covered the difference. So they did cover the difference. So it was like perfect. But every service that I found out about, I found out from another autism parent. The fact that if your child is not potty trained at 3, it's considered incontinence, and Medicaid would pay for diapers. Who knew? I'll put that on an autism Facebook group, and I swear people act like it's the new information that they never heard of. So Massachusetts has a whole lot of services. They're harder to get the further you're out from the city. I don't know, there's not as many speech therapists or whatever because these kids get out of college and they want to live in the city. So it's easier because I lived in the city of Boston. I definitely heard more issues when you live outside of Boston, that it's harder to get services sometimes. But I haven't found that problem. I got on Facebook groups, I found people, I met people, and they gave me all the information I need to know. So me and my friend, my original autism friend in the city of Boston. We've been on it. She'll do something, then she'll tell me about it. I do something, then I tell her about it. Just like the Department of Developmental Services gives us a stipend every year for things we pay for, like iPad or respite, because Boston doesn't really have regular respite, but they'll pay for respite. You just got to give receipts and they'll reimburse you. Stuff like that we found out from each other. One person find out and they tell the group. And that's how it's been working. You have to find other people in your vicinity because every state is different. Every state offers different things. California will pay you to not have a special needs child, but you do other things for a special needs child. But Massachusetts won't. They'll pay a PC. They won't pay a parent. So every state is different. And I noticed like the red states, I'm sorry to say, the services aren't that great. You got to be on lists for years, whereas in Massachusetts, you get it automatically. There's no list, a lottery. You're fighting to get services for your kids. I'm sorry. But that's what Massachusetts is just one of those states. So that's all the information I got.